Real Madrid star opens up on Qatar World Cup final heartache, transfer battles and difficult relationship with PSG. Talking to the media after the World Cup final defeat, Mbappé was broken. He could barely speak through his tears. A penalty shootout loss to Argentina had cost his side the trophy and denied him a second successive golden boot. On that night, as he trudged off the pitch at the Lusail iconic stadium, he knew one thing for sure. His life would never be the same again. In the months since then, there have been numerous attempts to analyze every kick, every tackle, and every controversial decision of that match. And yet there has been little scrutiny of how a man shouldered the weight of an expectant nation only to be undone by the cruel lottery of penalties. It is an unwelcome initiation to the adult world of professional football. The 24-year-old relationship with his employers, Paris Saint-Germain, quickly soured after he rejected their attempts to tie him down to a new deal. Last May, he informed the club of his intention to leave in 2024, activating a clause in his existing contract that entitled him to enter negotiations with foreign clubs. PSG refused to budge over the player's future, and he spent the season on the sidelines. But despite the difficult circumstances, went on to score 37 goals in 43 games in all competitions, including 8 in 10 Champions League matches. His latest victim was his former club. As he prepares to embark upon his third season at the Kylian reveals all to Lequi, in a wide-ranging interview that touches on his relationship with his teammates and the infamous night in Lusail. My relationship with the ball is pure happiness, he says, and I'm glad that feeling remains. If that goes, I stop. We have to be lucid. My relationship with the ball is the most important thing. If that disappears, I stop. Before he arrived in Madrid, enjoyed a relatively privileged existence at Monaco and PSG. Although he insists that was not always the case. A lot of people have this image of me, the one who had everything. No, not at all. The football world can be a tough place for someone like me. I'm fatalist about the world of football, but not about life. Life is wonderful. Football is what it is. He now lives with his girlfriend Rose and their 2 children in a spectacular mansion on the outskirts of the Spanish capital. In March, he revealed he was expecting another child. This time, a baby girl. I'm going to be a dad again. A little girl this time. My life is good. I am blessed. On October 2022, Mbappé became the youngest player to reach 100 goals in Ligue 1. He achieved the feat in 197 games, overtaking the previous record set by Paris Saint-Germain, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The Swede managed 100 goals in 180 games between 2012 and 2016. Reached his century in style, too. It was a hat-trick in a 7-1 rout of his former club Troyes, where he began his professional career. Is a devout Christian and a practicing Catholic who prays daily. That faith was tested during extra time of the World Cup final, when he had the chance to score the winning goal, only to be denied by the crossbar. When I saw the replays, I thought I had time. But in reality, it was 2 steps. I was so close. I remember taking a deep breath before hitting the post because I told myself, come on, Kylian, take a touch and score. Instead, I hit the post, and that gave me a big mental boost, because I felt I had to score the next one. I couldn't miss the next one. Unfortunately, I missed it. On reflection, though, he feels it was fate. It was written that Argentina would beat us on penalties. It was meant to be. Sometimes fate decides it. Whether we believe in it or not, it exists. I think that day was not our destiny. It was a great opportunity, but fate decided otherwise. It was not until December that got his first break following the tournament, which was filled with complaints from supporters who felt the France coach, Didier Deschamps, had handled the situation poorly. Was reportedly furious at being substituted in the 1-1 quarterfinal draw against England, but Deschamps backed his decision to bring off the striker, saying he had given everything on the field. Deschamps described reports of a rift as malicious and noted that was back to his usual self in training after the controversy surrounding the substitution died down. But he was once again in the headlines when he admitted he was upset about being left on the bench at halftime during the 2-0 win over Morocco in the semi-finals. Was brought on for Olivier Giroud and went on to score twice and become the first player to score in 3 different World Cup finals. I was a bit frustrated by my position on the bench, he told reporters. But honestly, I had already accepted this role. I worked to enter the game, and I am ready to play both as a starter and as a substitute. He netted the 24th minute penalty that took France ahead of Argentina and sent the game into extra time. Netted 36 times in 68 appearances for his country before the final. He is now on 41 goals and 69 caps, and has scored in every major international tournament he has played in. If I could describe my journey in one word, it would be strange. It told L'Equipe, the World Cup is the pinnacle of football. I started the competition well, but my best moment came at the end when everyone was hoping for a positive outcome. Yet I experienced the lowest moment of my career in the space of a few minutes when we lost on penalties. It was terrible. However, I lifted my head quickly because I realized I had no choice but to move on. Life goes on. I'm here today. Tomorrow I may be elsewhere. That's how it works in football. Despite his individual brilliance, could not prevent France from losing their second consecutive World Cup final. After thrashing Croatia for 2 to 4 years ago, Deschamps' men were beaten 1-0 by an extra-time goal from Mario Mandzukic in 2018. He admits that the fallout from the defeat in Qatar has been intense. There are a lot of things that need to be explained and cleared up. We talked about it for 2 months, and it was complicated. I wasn't in the spotlight, but I was aware of what was being said. People don't know me. A lot of what is said about me is far from the truth. Some people spend their entire careers waiting for recognition, or for people to really know who they are. You have to learn to live with that. You waste a lot of energy if you spend your time fighting it, and you'll never win. Et continues, when you look at the great French athletes, they've all been torn apart by public opinion at some point. I think it's a necessary part of the process, and I'm fine with that. With that in mind, will not shy away from speaking his mind. I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm here to play football. It's my job. I have my life outside of this. So here, I do what I have to do, and that's it. I am not going to try to make small talk with everyone and pretend to be someone I am not. And the striker is certainly not afraid to speak his mind when it comes to transfers. Earlier this summer, he dismissed rumors linking him with a move to Saudi Arabia and insisted he will not be leaving Real Madrid. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to Saudi Arabia, he declared. I don't want to finish my career at Real Madrid. I want to play for one more big club. That's for sure. Joined PSG's academy age 14 and progressed through the ranks before making his professional debut in 2015. After helping Monaco win the Ligue 1 title in 2017, he returned to PSG for a then world record fee of 180,000 euros Lion. During his 3 seasons in the French capital, he won 3 league titles and 2 French Cups. I learned a lot in Paris, especially on the human level. Etoile, L'Equipe. I grew up in a good environment. I played with great players who made me better. At the same time, I was learning about life, about what was going on around me. It was a complete experience. I'm grateful for the time I spent there. Has previously expressed his frustration at not being able to help PSG win the Champions League. We came close, he told The Guardian in 2021. But I think the club needs to keep improving, and I need to improve with it. But I can't do it alone. PSG's Qatari owners would surely have hoped for more from their record signing, who has scored 335 goals in 517 appearances across all competitions for club and country. But their relationship soured after he informed the club last year that he intended to leave in 2024. The more money you have, the more problems you have, he says. Some people don't see that your life has changed. They want to hold on to the image of you as a child when you were with them. But you're not the same person anymore. You have responsibilities, commitments, a job, people to answer to. Yes, I was raised in a modest family, but I don't have the same status as before. It's inevitable. You have to adapt. He does, however, admit that his performances suffered during his final season in the French capital. Yes, I was selfish, but the problem is not necessarily mine. Maybe it's the fact that some people no longer see me as one of their own. I like to think that if I hadn't been injured against Juventus, everything would have been different. I could have done something great there. With the experience I have now, I would do things differently, but it's impossible to predict how things would have turned out. Anyway, and whilst he says he harbors no ill feeling towards PS, he insists He had no option but to push for a move away. It's my right. It's employment law. I signed an employment contract. I just wanted to be paid. I have nothing against PSG. I love the club. I have friends there. But this is the only way to get what I'm owed. Something I've earned through the sweat of my brow. Relationship with his teammates at PSG was also called into question after he was accused of refusing to shake hands with teammate Sergio Ramos following their Champions League last 16 exit to Bayern Munich, but the Frenchman claims it was simply a case of miscommunication. It's true that I wasn't happy. I wanted to attack, and he wanted to defend. I told him I disagreed with his positioning, and he replied, "Shut up and get back into position." I said, "Okay, fine, but I won't shake your hand," he said. "Why?" And I replied, "Because I don't agree with what you're doing." He was surprised, and I don't blame him because it is not normal to behave like that towards your teammate. But I was totally in the zone. I was locked in. I was only focused on one thing, getting back into the game. But if he had kept telling me to get back into position, I would have carried on arguing with him. That's just how I am. I'm stubborn, headstrong, but I'm the same in my private life. If I don't agree with something, I say it. Added that he tried to explain his actions to Ramos after the game. After the match, I went to shake his hand, and he wasn't having it. He told me, "Get away." He was angry. Then, later, in the dressing room, I apologized to him and to the other players, because it is never a good thing to pick a fight with your teammate. But he understood me. Yopi anyway. We spoke for 10 minutes. I told him he was right, that I shouldn't have argued with him because even if I don't agree with something, I can't go against my teammate. He told me he understood me and he had no problem with me. The next day, we met again, and we joked about it. It's all good. Now we understand each other better. I'm a fighter. I hate losing. That desire to succeed means he is not afraid to pick a fight with anyone, whether it's PSG or his own teammates. It's a side that may be less evident to those who have followed his career closely. But perhaps it's precisely that competitive spirit that makes him so dangerous in front of goal.